Hey everybody, it's Scott from the Forgot to Grow podcast. Welcome to another edition of ReWatching Agents of SHIELD. Today I'm going to be talking about Season 2, Episode 1, Shadows. As I do for every rewatch, I'm going to just give you guys the plot summary for this episode so you have some idea about what happened in this episode before I talk about my thoughts and some foreshadowing and Easter eggs I noticed in this episode. So let's just dive right in with that plot summary for this episode, which says, in 1945, Agent Peggy Carter and the SSR raid the last known Hydra base and confiscate many items, including the obelisk and a blue body. In the present, Phil Coulson's team monitors a deal revolving around the obelisk, which goes awry when Carl Creel kills the ex-SHIELD agent offering the intel and escapes with it. Agent Skye interrogates Grant Ward and learns that Hydra is using communication channels not monitored by SHIELD. The team realizes that General Glenn Talbot is in trouble and rushes to rescue him from Creel before abducting Talbot themselves and using him to break into a military facility full of confiscated SHIELD assets. Agent Isabel Hartley finds the obelisk while Skye and Agent Triplet steal a cloaked, capable Quinjet. Lance Hunter leaves with his team of mercenaries enlisted by SHIELD only to be ambushed by Creel, whose attack kills Hartley. Creel then steals the obelisk for an apparently unaged Dr. Whitehall. So that's the end of the summary. Sorry guys, that last little line was a little bit messed up. But yeah, first episode of the second season. They started off with a pretty big bang in this episode. A bunch of SHIELD stuff going on. Them trying to get themselves back on their feet, even though they're technically criminals according to most of the world. But I really enjoyed how this episode in this season starts off with a flashback and we get Peggy Carter. And it says the SSR in the summary I just said, but it was actually the SSR, but it was also the Howling Commandos, which I love that little throwback, that tie-in to the movies and to the Agent Carter TV show, which is, I guess, the bigger connection because it was being filmed at the same time as, I think, the second season. But I just really like that connection. I like that we get that little flashback. I kind of wish they had done that more throughout the show, but it was really interesting to get into this episode. But what else do I have? We get an introduction of Mac, Hartley, and Hunter all in this episode. Mac especially. We don't get to see Mac too much, but I'm especially happy that Mac gets introduced as well as Hunter. Hartley, it's fortunate she doesn't make it past this episode because she was a kind of cool character, and I don't think she made. Yeah, no, she died at the end. That's right. I just read that. Anyways, but yeah, it was cool to be introduced to Mac, even though we haven't learned much about him yet, and we're starting to learn about Hunter, and Hunter's just a funny guy. I can't wait till we get Bobby in the coming episodes. Or is it later in this season, or is it next season that Bobby comes in? I can't really remember, guys. You guys let me know in the comments below when Bobby ends up showing. Her name is Bobby, right? That's the other thing we got to make sure if I'm remembering her name right. Anyways, next thing on my list, we learn that Coulson is recruiting SHIELD agents all around the world. They have a small global setup at the moment, but they also learn that Hydra is still everywhere. We see a map just dotted up, covered across the world, and we learn that also that the government is hunting down these guys, and they really just don't care at all about making a distinction between SHIELD and Hydra. To them, it's just all the same thing. And I like that we get Talbot a lot more in this season because he's trying to chase down the guys, and I just love that guy as an actor. What else do we have? Okay, so we see that Fitz is still recovering from some of the brain damage he suffered at the season finale of last season. And at first we see that we think Simmons is helping him recover, but then we learn at the very end of the episode, which to me is still so heartbreaking. His most heartbreaking thing in this episode, and maybe almost the whole show, is that Fitz was abandoned by Simmons. Well, not abandoned, she thought it'd be better without him, but he's imagining her while he's coping with his... Oh, it's so much for me. I honestly have trouble handling that. It's just, wow, poor Fitz. Oh, this season with Fitz, while he's overcoming it, it's a really tough one for me. I really love his character. I love that he's able to overcome that, but it's tough seeing him going through those struggles, and yeah, just personal connections to that. But anyways, we'll move on to something else. What else do I have written down? We see Sky's trying to figure out the alien writing. She's investigating she doesn't know that's alien writing as of yet, really, but she's investigating it based off of what Garrett had given her and what she doesn't. I don't know if she exactly knows that some of these are from Coulson's carvings, but she's definitely looking into that from information that he's been giving her. We get a little hint of that in this episode, which I think is cool. I always like learning about that alien stuff. I always kind of forget a little bit of the exact details of it, which is one of those mysteries I just love when I rewatch this to learn again. But what else do I have written down? Sky has to question Ward about Creel and Hydra and stuff. That's an interesting little bit of tension we see. We learn that Ward tried to kill himself a couple times when he was first locked up, which I think I just always found weird because his character doesn't seem like that type who would try to do that, but at the same time, I'm like, is he doing it as a manipulation of Sky and them? Like, is he trying to manipulate them by doing this? Did he actually want to kill? That part just, I don't want to say confuses me, but makes me think a lot about what exactly is going on. Is it more than meets the eye? And I can't remember exactly if we learn more as the season goes on, but I just thought that was an interesting interaction between those two. We see Talbot get attacked by Creel. Yeah, there's not really much to say about that. I don't know why we wrote that down. What else do I have? The team grabs a Quinjet just so that they can get around. Apparently, like they're all being hunted down by the U.S. government, so they need this cloaking technology of the Quinjet to be able to make their lives a little easier. We hear at one point Coulson saying that he's been flying coach all around because he's got to avoid, because they can't take out the bus because, well, the whole government's looking for them. So yeah, it's cool that they end up getting this. And then I like the Dr. Whitehall, whatever his name is, the guy who's connected from the Hydra guy, Dr. Whitehall. I don't know how to say his other name when he was, but so I like that he's brought into this. I like his connection throughout the whole season, and like how with the different things that he's doing. You know, he's playing his different like little pieces in the background, and I just enjoy that character overall. Plus its connections to the MCU, obviously. But yeah, that's all my notes for this particular episode. I thought they did a pretty good job of kicking off the second season. Maybe not as much spectacle or, I guess spectacle's word. There's not a lot of spectacle in this episode, but there's a good amount. I like that they're attacking a military complex at some point, but it is still a pretty good start to the season. But that's all my thoughts on this episode, guys. Let me know in the comments below what you think of the season 2 premiere, the first episode, your thoughts, what you liked, if there was anything I missed about this episode in particular. I always like hearing your guys' comments. But thanks for joining me today, guys, and have a good one.